being the head coach at a top 5 program in all of college football under the age of 40 to unemployed and in the clink in central Michigan. This is the wildest story in sports right now. Welcome to the In My Defense podcast, where we chop it up about sports, culture, and life the way it was meant to be discussed. Bold takes, thoughtful analysis, and real talk. Nothing's personal, but hey, in my defense. If you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. Busy week in the world of sports. A lot going on at some big-time programs, some big-time teams, and I can't get to it without getting to my frat brother, marketing extraordinaire, Quentin Wright McDuffie. Yo, Q, what up?
What's good, Brody? What's good? How you?
I'm doing better than Sherrone Moore from Michigan is.
Man. Everybody doing better than him. He had a hell of a week.
Yeah, he down bad. Hell of a week, hell of a last 24 hours. You go from being the head coach at a top 5 program in all of college football under the age of 40 to unemployed and in the clink in central Michigan. This is the wildest story in sports right now.
It's beyond the wildest story, but listen, let's get straight into it. As you said, Coach Moore from the Michigan football team. Listen, he is going through a hell of a week. I gotta say, found himself in some bullshit. That's what he did. He got arrested. First, he got fired. He got released from the team for conflict and having an inappropriate relationship with a staff member.
Yeah.
One crash out. Then he gets arrested for battery.
Yeah.
Another crash out.
Yeah.
That all happened in the same week, people. 2-day span. Listen, Coach Moore getting relieved of his position. Now the Wolverines saved a lot of money. Canty, what's your thoughts on that? And what are you thinking about just the legacy of the program after?
Well, listen, it was not a move that Michigan wanted to make. Think about the timing of it. This is weeks after the hiring cycle had seemingly come to a conclusion, with Lane Kiffin officially taking the job at LSU and Matt Campbell taking the job at Penn State University. All of the other coaches that would be prospective for this job either transitioned to different programs or they signed extensions at their current teams. And so clearly the conduct was as such, where Michigan felt like it had no other choice. And the last thing that this university and this football program wanted was yet another scandal coming off of what happened last year with Jim Harbaugh and Connor Stallions in the sign stealing fiasco. So the fact that Ward Manuel, the athletic director, got to this point where he felt like he had to terminate Sherrone Moore, it just tells you how bad it was and how flagrant Sherrone Moore was in terms of how he conducted himself.
Now, Sherrone Moore, we used to say coach, but now Sherrone Moore, you got a nice orange jumpsuit. Brother, it's very hard for a lot of people that look like me and you, Canty, to get opportunities like this to be the coach of a prestige football program with great legacy. This ain't his first offense. He was wrapped up in that sign stealing stuff as well. So you got that situation going on, and then you take the opportunity to mess with, once you're playing snow, you don't know which way it's going to go. You take the opportunity to mess with staff, and then you didn't only just mess with her, you slipped a plan B like this was a Dipset concert. Listen, I tried to all put it together with Dipset. As a man, what would you tell Coach Moore right now in this point in time? Now, I know he's probably depressed, so you want to be uplifting, but what can you tell him about his accountability in these situations?
Man, it's nothing that you can tell Sherrone Moore. It's about trying to tell the next Sherrone Moore, how to do it a different way and how to be better when you get these opportunities. And as you mentioned, you don't get these types of seats that open up very often, let alone have a minority candidate fill that role and that vacancy, let alone a minority candidate that's under the age of 40. He was the handpicked successor by Jim Harbaugh coming off of a national championship, went 8-5 in his first full year as the head coach, beat number 2 ranked Ohio State in the game. And then he followed that up with a true freshman quarterback in year 2, leading the team to a 9-3 record and on the verge of having a date with Arch Manning in the Texas Longhorns in the Citrus Bowl on New Year's Eve. The program was on solid footing. And to undermine your coaching career in this way is wild to me. My grandmother told me a long time ago, you never lose your head over a piece of tail. My daddy taught me you never dip your pen in the company ink. These are just things that you learn as a jit. And the fact that Sherrone Moore conducted himself in this way, a married man, a family man, choosing to embarrass the program, embarrass his family, embarrass himself in this way, and quite frankly, embarrass Jim Harbaugh in this way, is out of pocket, man. And so I have zero sympathy for Sherrone Moore. He deserves exactly what he got coming to him. It's just unfortunate the fallout because now his family has got to deal with the embarrassment and the shame of it all.
Yeah, and all that kind of happened hours behind each other, the firing and then the him being detained.
Here's what
Bruh.
I don't understand. Here's what I don't get. You already had the worst day of your life. Why would you make a bad situation worse by rolling up on the woman that you got caught up with? How do you think that's going to go? Authorities are not sympathetic to black men in domestic situations. They just not. The best thing you could do is walk away from it all. We seen it happen with Ime Udoka. He got another chance. He got clipped in Boston for an inappropriate relationship, sat out for a year, ended up getting a head coaching job with the Houston Rockets, and now that's a top five team in the entire league. They're ranked third in the Western Conference standings. Yeah, I got Kevin Durant this offseason. Like, think about that. Like, you've already seen people in high-level sports have this same type of infraction and find a way to bounce back after the general public comes to the consensus that they've served their penance. But guess what they can't do now? They can't give you an opportunity now because you just got locked up after you got fired. You can't be trusted. You can't be trusted to represent any organization, and you can't be trusted to lead young men. So yeah, this is all kinds of bad for Sherrone Moore, but this is also all kinds of bad for the University of Michigan football program because they got to figure out what's going to happen between now and when they play in their bowl game on New Year's Eve. And then, oh, by the way, transfer portal opens up on January 2nd. You got to make for damn sure that you keep Bryce Underwood committed to your program and young guys that you got coming in the 2026 recruiting class, Carter Meadows, defensive lineman, Savion Hitter, running back from Virginia. You got to make sure you keep those five-star prospects in the fold. And that's going to be a challenge. So listen, Michigan does not have time to wallow in this. They got to function forward. They got to make a definitive decision on who their next head coach is. And it's got to be somebody that can be entrusted in this spot that knows how to win and win big when it comes to being at a prestigious program like this.
I totally agree, brother. We hope you get a redemption story. I mean, it don't look good. You can't get a job while you're in jail.
Yeah, I don't give a damn about the redemption arc right now for Sherrone Moore. You
No,
you
you
need to
can't.
have
You're a fool.
several seats, sir. Several
You're a
seats.
fool.
I don't know how you don't. Your players in your locker room know that P is undefeated. No losses, no ties.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why you would even mess around with something like that and put yourself in that situation. Shame on you.
And don't they have those like programs right before summer, before spring ball? Let's sit down and get the people together, tell them what not to do. And then you come in after the summer and you go back in that meeting room and they have those conversations. Now
They
they talk
do.
about
Sherrone Moore
NIL
should
and
have been sitting
everything.
in the damn meeting. He got his players in there. He should have had his ass in there.
He should have had his notebook open.
Yeah.
That's what he should have had and took
Yeah.
notes. But let's go from a heavy story to something that needs a little bit more Bengay. Now you probably try to figure out what I'm about to talk about, but listen, listeners, there's no pause moment. The Colts went from Super Bowl bound to grandpa off the rocker bound. They done got Phillip Rivers because he is a grandpa now.
Yeah.
He's a grandpa now.
Yeah.
Legally,
Yeah.
he's a grandpa. They got 44-year-old Phillip Rivers off of the couch, and they have him playing on the practice squad initially, but I believe he's going to play this week.
Yeah.
Phillip Rivers was with the coach of the Colts, Steichen, as a member of the Chargers, so familiarity, that's always big to have familiarity. Canty, on a day like today, what do you say about the Colts making this move?
It's desperation. And listen, this is a team that went all in on Daniel Jones being their quarterback for now and for later. That's why they traded 2 first-round draft picks to bring Sauce Gardner from the New York Jets. They were trying to win this year. They felt like there was an opportunity. Think about it. Right now, if the playoffs were to start, you would have no Joe Burrow, no Patrick Mahomes, no Lamar Jackson. So it feels like there was an opportunity. So I understand the logic behind what the Colts did, but they made a huge bet with Daniel Jones and they crapped out because now Daniel Jones is dealing with the Achilles injury and he's likely not going to be ready for the start of next season. So what do? For a head coach and a general manager that's on the hot seat, you bring in somebody that you know can operate the offense from a mental standpoint and just hope that the physical can hold up. That's why they turned to Philip Rivers. Shane Steichen has a relationship with Philip Rivers. Philip Rivers runs this same Colts offense at his son Gunner's high school. So obviously he knows what he's doing. He has regular conversations with Shane Steichen, so he's up to speed in terms of the state of the union with the Indianapolis Colts organization. He played for that organization, so he has familiarity with how they like to do business. So I understand the logic behind it. Do I think it'll work? No. But I do think it's a hell of an opportunity for Philip Rivers in terms of bolstering his Hall of Fame resume. Because if he steps in and he delivers and gets this Indianapolis Colts team to the playoffs, then this will absolutely be a top line on the resume type of item for Philip Rivers. This will be something that everybody remembers. This is the type of narrative that sticks to your bones.
Now, my question to you is, and he was a semifinalist, and from my understanding, because he came back, the clock restarts.
Correct.
Do you think he came back because he's seen that the Colts was in a position maybe to add some pads to them stats so that he could become a finalist and then eventually a Hall of
No,
Famer
I
a little
don't think
bit
that's
faster
why he
than
came
before?
back. I think Phil came back because Shane Steichen is a good friend and he is in a position to help a friend. Think about it. If you got a skill set that can help your homie out and your homie's in a bad spot, could potentially get fired, could lose his job, lose his ability to be able to provide for his family, it, it it's almost as if you're a bad dude if you don't step up and don't try to help him
Mm,
out. And so I'm
mhm.
sure that Rivers got the sign off from his wife, from his kids, his family. I'm sure they said, you know what? If you got the passion, if it still burns, then go out and do it. If you still physically feel up to it and you think that you can help your friend save his job, then why not? Because let's be clear, coming into the season, Shane Steichen and Chris Ballard were on the hot seat. Chris Ballard been there 9 years, 2 playoff appearances, only 1 playoff win. That ain't good enough. The
Mm.
Indianapolis Colts have lost 4 of the last 5 games. So this skid that they've been on started before Daniel Jones got hurt. If you look at the remainder of their schedule, ESPN's FPI doesn't have them favored to win any more games. So there's no way a GM head coach coming into the season on the hot seat can survive ending the season losing 8 of their final 9. So that's why you go out and you get a Philip Rivers. Now, flip side of that coin, they play the Seattle Seahawks up in the Great Northwest this weekend. If I'm that Seattle Seahawks defense, if I'm head coach Mike McDonald, who has a defensive background, I'm going to heat Philip Rivers' ass up. I'm sending a blitz early and often, and I'm going to make him beat me with hot reads and being able to identify and recognize the blitz and get the ball out on time, because that's one of the hardest things to figure out is the blitz pickup, especially with new receivers, the timing of it all, the precision that it takes to operate the offense. Philip Rivers is stepping into mid-season action. So the speed of the
Mhm.
game is crazy, especially this time of year because the intensity picks up as the playoff chase is in full effect. I'm going to make Philip Rivers play a lot faster than he wants to, and that's why I expect a lot of pressure from a Seattle Seahawks defense that knows how to get after quarterbacks.
All right, I just want to talk on one more thing, and then we'll go to the next seg. It's about saving the day, superheroes. Philip Rivers said, "I'm not here to save the day." We understand that. You say he came out for a friend. Now, for you, there were other quarterbacks out there on the couch. Cam Newton, Superman, superhero. Why didn't he get picked up? I mean, I know you said exactly like familiarity. He
It's
knows
a
the scheme.
relationship business, man. That's all it is.
Got
It's relationships. It's just that simple. It ain't about fading Cam Newton or anybody else. It says Philip Rivers has a relationship with Shane Steichen. Philip Rivers has a relationship with the Indianapolis Colts organization. I think there are
Mhm.
still about a dozen players that are with the Colts that were there when he was there in
Yep.
2020. So I think that connective tissue is what got everybody involved comfortable with the idea of bringing him in. And that's what, quite frankly, opened the door to Philip Rivers considering playing again.
All right, brother. Listen, we got 99 problems, but a take ain't one.
Hey.
Uh it's Thursday when we're recording, so it's a little bit different. We usually record on Wednesday, so we're not going to give you Thursday night football. So let's jump into those Sunday night matchups. Some games that matters. Ravens versus the Bengals. Well, Sunday, excuse me, at 1
Ooh.
p.m.
I'm going with the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, it's interesting because Joe Burrow says he feels like he lost his joy playing the game of football. Um, it sounds real Andrew Luckish when you hear it. Joe Burrow's been through a hell of a lot of injuries. Guy's been banged up. He's been on IR in 2 of the last 3 seasons. He's missed 15 games over the last 3 seasons. He's missed a total of 21 games throughout his NFL career. He's had 2 season-ending injuries. Um, from a physical standpoint, he's been through a lot, but I think the part that's underreported is how much those injuries take a toll on you mentally. And so I think this is an opportunity for the Cincinnati Bengals to make a statement about who they're going to be next year because it's gotten late for them in terms of being able to compete for the division and getting the playoffs this year. But if you're the Bengals, if you're Zach Taylor, if you're Mike Brown, the owner, if you're Duke Tobin, the general manager, the next month of the season is about helping Joe Burrow rediscover his joy. And
Mhm.
nothing says that more than being able to get a win against a division opponent at home and being able to light the scoreboard up. So I would expect a spirited effort from the Cincinnati Bengals, and that's why I think they'll be on the winning side of this game. And here's the other part: Lamar Jackson just isn't right. Nobody wants to talk about it, but Lamar Jackson, from a health standpoint, is banged up, and until he gets right, the Ravens ain't gonna be right.
I agree, and I think with Joe Burrows, his health meter is going down and down and down. Eventually, it depletes. So hopefully, he remains healthy, and I think when he remains healthy, that love will come right back. You know, being able to be out there running and gunning with your boys, I
Yeah,
think it will work out. And then they put a lot of money into that offense.
yeah.
They ain't
They
got no
put a lot of
choice.
money into that offense. They put a lot of money into those 2 receivers, which are his guys, which is why I don't think that he'll pull the surprise walk away from the game.
Mm,
But he has talked about his career mortality in the past. And this dude has made $177 million in his career. So money ain't a factor. If money ain't a factor and you don't enjoy doing it, then why are you going to go out there and play? Football is way too dangerous to be out there going through the motions. You either better love it and or you better be highly motivated by the check that comes with playing it.
listen, I agree. You got two of the best teams in their respective conferences, the Packers and Broncos. Sunday, what do you got?
Man, I'm going with the Packers, man. Jordan Love has been on one, and it coincides with the return of Christian Watson, which happened in week 8. During that span, Jordan Love is tops in the NFL in QBR, and he's second in the NFL in touchdown passes. The dude is on fire, and Christian Watson has been playing like a number 1 wide receiver. I think it's good business by the Green Bay Packers, the fact that they locked this dude up when he was hurt, because now you're already getting the return on investment. And Jordan Love has been able to take his game to another notch because of the comfortability that he has with Christian Watson being able to work his way back in the offense. We know what that defense is, led by Michael Parsons. I know that everybody is talking about the sacks that Myles Garrett is getting and how he's poised to break Michael Strahan's record. But Micah Parsons leads the NFL in pressures this season. Micah Parsons has 60 quarterback pressures through week 14. For context,
Woo!
Myles Garrett has 43. Think about that.
Yeah.
That is insane. Michael is playing some of the best football of his career. It is incredible. So, yeah, this Green Bay Packers team is definitely going to have something to say about who comes out of the NFC. And I certainly feel like I'm further along with trusting their team, all 3 phases of their squad in comparison to the Denver Broncos. So I'm going to take the Packers, and I'm willing to lay the points.
Listen, you heard that first. Take the points, brothers. Canty don't be wrong on that.
No, I said
Don't
later
believe him.
points. Later points.
Oh, okay.
Later
Cool,
points.
cool.
Yeah.
You heard what he said. You heard what he said.
Yeah.
Listen and follow him. Don't follow me. Because my parlays, they
Ah.
hit, but they be a little crazy. They be a
Yeah.
little crazy. For those listeners, Canty, real quick, and then we'll talk about the other two games. You talked about quarterback pressures, and Parsons having pretty much 20, almost 20 more than the sack leader in the NFL. As a defensive guy, you had your feet in your hands in the dirt, your knuckles busted and everything while you're running off that line. What does that do to a quarterback? Now, he might not have the sacks, but having that many pressures, how did that affect the game?
Well, it speeds up the quarterback, but here's the other thing that it does. It creates other opportunities for guys to get sacks, right? If I'm pressuring the quarterback off the edge, then he's going to step up and my defensive tackles can eat, or linebackers on run throughs can eat. So pressures are disruptive. They're not as good as sacks, but sometimes they can be as effective in terms of affecting the offense's ability to be able to operate the passing game. So I think that Micah Parsons is worth his weight in terms of what the Packers have been paying him based on the production that he's given that defense. That is an elite championship level defense. And now it feels like the offense is matching their level in terms of what they've been able to do, Jordan Love and Christian Watson getting right.
Okay. Listen, I want to make sure you guys understood. So if somebody run up on me and say, "Well, he doesn't have sacks, Micah Parsons this," you got to understand the philosophy of the game. So that's why we got Canty.
Listen, 12 and a half sacks through 14 weeks is pretty damn good. Pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
It's pretty. It sounds like a couple people would take that kind of season right now.
Yeah.
Cowboys, Vikings, Sunday Night Football.
Man, this is a game where the Cowboys should whoop the Vikings' ass. And I get it. The Vikings, J.J. McCarthy looked a lot better last week. He ends up having the 3 touchdown passes, completing 70% of his passes, no turnovers. That's a step in the right direction. But he's going up against the wrong team in the Dallas Cowboys, who should be pissed off after they gave away a game to the Detroit Lions with all of the turnovers and just the terrible penalties. And so I think that this will be a situation where they take out their frustration on the Vikings. It's probably going to be too late for the Cowboys to catch the Eagles for the division. And if they can't win the NFC East, then they're not going to get in as a wild card. So this is more about the Dallas Cowboys building toward next year. And I think that the Minnesota Vikings game presents an opportunity for them to make a statement to the rest of the league about just how good they can be when they're playing their best ball and they don't beat themselves.
I agree. You only win the games, you don't lose yourselves.
And here's the other thing. People questioning George Pickens' effort after that Detroit Lions game. Watch what number 3 do this week. Just watch
I'm praying for it.
Whatever the over is on yards and catches for George Pickens, whatever the over-under is, take the over. Promise you.
I'm hoping so, because definitely lost the ticket by one parlay because
take the over when it comes to George Pickens over-unders this week.
Well, is CD playing? Or is he in concussion protocol?
I think that's going to be a game time decision.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll see what ends up happening. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, listen, my guy Pickens still went off those games. I think like 2 or 3 games without CD on the other side. He still did his thing. So hopefully it works out. Dolphins, Steelers. I know you love some Dolphins. Dolphins, Steelers, Monday night.
Hey, man, I left the Dolphins for dead. They fired their general manager in the middle of the season, and it seems like Chris Greer was the biggest problem because since then they've won 5 of their last 6 games, including the win over the Buffalo Bills. So I'm curious at this matchup because the Pittsburgh Steelers should be in the driver's seat to win the AFC North. But this is absolutely a game that they can lose. I don't believe in either one of these teams. I don't believe in the future of either one of these organizations. But somebody is going to convince themselves that they're on the right track. And it's going to start this week with this game. Ultimately, I'm going to roll with the Pittsburgh Steelers just because I respect Mike Tomlin and he's going to be at home in Pittsburgh. And I just don't see Tua Tagovailoa taking the show on the road and besting the Pittsburgh Steelers in Pittsburgh. So I think this is a situation where Aaron Rodgers and that Steelers team gets on a bit of a roll. That defense playing with a bank full of pride. They're smart on that side of the ball. They know that taking away Tua's first read is the only way to play this Miami Dolphins offense. So I think that from a chess match standpoint, Mike Tomlin will have those boys ready to go. I like the Pittsburgh Steelers to roll in this game.
All right, before we get into wins and losses, what's one game you think all the fans and all the listeners need to tune into that we might have not mentioned in 99 Problems?
Ooh, one game that you absolutely got to watch. I gotta say it's Bills Patriots, man. I think that is gonna be an awesome game. You're talking about two guys that are in the thick of the MVP race. I love Drake Maye. Remember, he bested Josh Allen in Orchard Park earlier in the season in week 5. There was a lot of playmaking ability. He pushed the ball down the field. He's shown the ability to ad lib second reaction plays, utilizing his legs to extend the down. I love everything about the New England Patriots team. The only thing that I would say is a bit of a question mark, their ability to protect the quarterback, their ability to be able to rush the passer, but they're a physical football team. They're committed to being physical, playing big, running the football, stopping the run. The back end of that defense is really, really good. So I like the New England Patriots, and I think they make believers out of the rest of the skeptics with yet another win over a hot Josh Allen and Buffalo Bills team.
Question to you. I'm happy that you mentioned this game because that's where I was going to go. Do you think Josh Allen is wasting his window? The three Kings right now don't look like they're going to be in the playoffs to go against him. This might be the opportunity to step up and be the MVP that everybody believes he is. Lamar Jackson was the MVP last year.
Yeah,
But
yeah, he's got a path. Josh, to answer your question, Josh Allen's got a path. Like if it's ever going to happen, this is the year for it to happen, right? You have so many unknowns when it comes to other quarterbacks in the playoffs. Bo Nix, Drake May,
Mhm.
Justin Herbert has yet to win a playoff game. I mean,
Yep.
CJ Stroud and the Texans look like they're going to have to be a wild card team. Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars are leading the AFC South. I mean, it just feels like the Pittsburgh Steelers are not a team that everybody is believing in. So it feels like there's an opportunity for Josh Allen and Sean McDermott to assert themselves. But if that's going to happen, you got to start this week in Foxborough. And getting the win in Gillette Stadium is easier said than done against these Patriots.
Listen, I think his opportunity is now, and if he doesn't seize it, he's going to regret it because Drake may be here to stay.
Mayday. Mayday, mayday,
He may be here to
mayday.
stay. Drizzy, wins and losses this week. Canty, what's your win for the week?
Ooh, my win for the week. My win for the week, I'm going to go with Dan Campbell and the Detroit Lions. That was a team that I left for dead. I didn't think that they had it in them to have that performance on Thursday Night Football against the Dallas Cowboys in Week 14. They surprised me with the way that they came to play. Jahmyr Gibbs is an absolute dog.
Mhm.
Jameson Williams coming up with some big time plays. Amon-Ra St. Brown with an ankle injury stepped up and balled out. And then that defense found a way to get after what was the number one ranked total offense in the league in the Dallas Cowboys. So credit to the Detroit Lions for being able to keep their season alive. They're going to have something to say about how the NFC North goes in terms of who wins that division. And I think that that's a team that most of the squads in the NFC are hoping doesn't make to the tournament because their team can take their pound of flesh from anybody. So Detroit Lions, good on you for being able to keep your season alive. That's my win for the week.
That's a good win. I mean, for me, my win for the week are the Texans showing up that defense against the Chiefs. I wanted to see how real that defense was against a legit QB, legit QB. He is one of those ballers. He's one of the three kings. He is one of the faces of the NFL, and as some people will call him, Baby Goat. So I was looking forward to see how they'll match up. I'm listening, Canty.
No, I want to let you finish because I got another person that I got to shout out once we get done.
Okay, cool. No worries. But I wanted to shout out that defense. Y'all did me good this week in fantasy. 20 plus points. I appreciate y'all. Now on to the playoffs. Keep balling defense of the
There it
Texans.
is. The
Now
Texans,
Stroud,
they be
show
balling.
up.
Will
Yeah,
Anderson
they be
Jr.,
balling.
Daniil Hunter, those dudes are dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Dogs,
Mm-hmm.
dogs,
What you
absolute
got,
dogs.
Canty? What you got for
You
us?
know what? I think we'd be remiss if we didn't shout this person out for the win this week. Somebody that's been polarizing figure that's taken a lot of criticism. Shedeur Sanders being named the starter for the Cleveland Browns for the rest of the season. I thought that was big time. Even in the loss against the Tennessee Titans, he showed that he for damn sure shouldn't have been no damn fifth round draft pick. Somebody should have taken him a lot earlier. 350 yards passing, 3 passing touchdowns, another rushing touchdowns. His dumbass coach, Kevin Stefanski, didn't have him in on a 2-point conversion, and that kept him from being able to complete a double-digit comeback and force overtime. Maybe the Cleveland Browns could have won that game against the Titans at home. But Shedeur Sanders showed everything that you're looking for a young NFL quarterback to show. Earlier this week, I said Shedeur Sanders should absolutely be the bridge for the Cleveland Browns to whatever is definitively next. Here's what people misunderstood when I made that statement, is that Shedeur Sanders could be what's next. The fact that they would consider him a bridge means he gets every opportunity to prove that he's the guy. Shedeur Sanders will have an opportunity. And I'm hoping that he makes the most of it over the next month. So the Cleveland Browns decide to build around him this offseason with the 2 first-round draft picks rather than taking another quarterback that could potentially be his successor.
Well, I'm happy that you threw that alley-oop because my L of the week was Stefanski. He was my L of the week because who did not see that bum cat, not even Wildcat, who didn't see that bum cat coming? Who didn't see it?
Everybody saw it coming.
You had Judkins back there. He wasn't throwing it.
Yeah.
I've never seen him throw all season long. Now, if y'all set that up, maybe week 3, and then y'all did some installs, and then maybe somebody got. I've never seen that. Ever.
It's the dumbest thing ever.
Listen, Stefanski, you're trash. My L for the week to you, Stefanski.
Yeah.
Now, what about you, Canty? What's your
my
L
L
for
of
the
the
week?
week, Daniel Jones, man. This dude was working on getting the contract, paying him $40+ million a year. And now with the Achilles injury, the injury history overall, I don't know that the Colts or any organization is going to be able to commit the kind of money to him that he looked like he was poised to earn based on how he played through the first half of the season. Remember, the Colts started 7-1 and was a historically good offense. And then this happens, this latest midseason slide, and then of course the injury that he had, non-contact in the first quarter in Jacksonville. So sucks for Daniel Jones. I root for that dude. Hopefully he has a speedy recovery, and hopefully the Indianapolis Colts still see him as the quarterback that they want to roll with moving forward. But Daniel Jones is my loss for the week.
That was a big one. I mean, we know this as athletes. You put too much on one side of your body to supplement for the other side, something's bound to happen. He was already playing hurt, so especially lower ligaments. You play hurt like that, you're bound to get an Achilles, ACL. All it takes is the wrong pivot, the wrong pop, and it's done.
Sucks for Daniel Jones, man. Sucks for him. Sucks for the Colts too. Could cost the head coach and general manager their jobs. But I just, I'm always going to lead with the player. I'm pro player, and I empathize with what DJ is going through.
Yeah, and happy that he went out there and he tried to stick it out for the team. That's what the leaders do. Canty, let them know where they can find you.
Oh man, you can find me on social media platforms at ChrisCanty99. You could also find me at Unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, ESPNU, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. You can also find me on Unsportslike on all social media platforms through my show. And then, of course, you can find me at the In My Defense Pod on all social media platforms, as well as watching our show on YouTube. If you are watching on YouTube, make sure you click that little button, like and subscribe, man. We need you to look out for us in that way. We appreciate you tuning in, but we also want to make sure that you're a part of the In My Defense family. So make sure you click that button, like and subscribe.
Yes. As my brother Canty said, please like, subscribe, know what's going on with us. You hear the thing, you're going to hear us ring the doorbell every week. You can find me at QE_Beeman1 on all social media platforms. We thank you. Usually I have a nice witty pun, but I think the direction I would go won't be right. So I'll say this. If you're starving, you're going to find a way to eat. So go out this week and do something you didn't think you could do before. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all for tapping in. Just know nothing's personal, but in our defense,